dawn over the Amazon. Beneath the warm layer of decaying leaves, a caiman guards her nest of eggs. But that warmth attracts predators. A giant anaconda silently slithers closer. Just minutes later, wounded and exhausted, the anaconda is forced to retreat. The nest remains safe. This is the Amazon rainforest, the largest tropical rainforest on the planet. A green ocean spanning more than 5.5 million square kilometers, stretching across 9 countries and sustaining about 10% of all known species on Earth. From above, massive rivers wind like veins. The Amazon River carries more freshwater than any other river, shaping the rhythm of life throughout the forest. Beneath the dense canopy, sunlight can take minutes to reach the forest floor. At each different level, from the sunlit treetops to the dark, damp ground, separate worlds exist side by side. The Amazon is not only home to jaguars, river dolphins, or harpy eagles. It is also one of the planet's most important climate regulation systems, absorbing billions of tons of carbon and generating moisture flows that influence global weather patterns. But this forest is not as silent as it appears. Every sound, every movement in the shadows is part of an unending struggle for survival. The Amazon is not merely a forest, it is the beating heart of the earth. Along the slow-moving rivers of the Amazon, 2 golden eyes quietly rise above the water's surface. It is the caiman, a reptile that has remained nearly unchanged for millions of years. Its body is perfectly designed for a life divided between water and land. Its eyes and nostrils sit atop its head, allowing it to observe and breathe while nearly its entire body remains submerged. Its thick skin, covered in hardened scales and bony plates called osteoderms, acts as natural armor, providing protection while also helping regulate body temperature. A caiman's jaws deliver an extremely powerful bite, but what is remarkable lies in its conical teeth, not built for chewing, but for gripping prey. They swallow their food in large chunks. A third transparent membrane, the nictitating membrane, protects the eyes while hunting underwater. A caiman's heart is also different from that of most other reptiles. It has a 4-chambered heart, similar to birds and mammals, allowing flexible blood flow control during long, deep dives. Though they are formidable predators, their life cycle begins in fragility. During the breeding season, the female caiman builds a nest of decaying leaves and mud along the riverbank. The heat generated by decomposition keeps the eggs warm. After many weeks of incubation, faint calls from within signal that a new generation is about to be born. And when the eggs crack open, an ancient cycle of the Amazon continues once more. The hatchlings, less than 20 centimeters long, are carried down to the water. Here, they will remain close to their mother during the first weeks of life. But the Amazon shows no mercy. Birds of prey circle overhead. Large fish lurk beneath the surface. Even other adult caimans can pose a threat. Only a small fraction of hatchlings survive to adulthood. Yet their biological strategy does not rely on the survival of a few, but on sheer numbers. Each breeding season, dozens of eggs are laid, ensuring that despite heavy losses, the species continues to endure. On higher ground, among the tangled tree roots, a jaguar silently approaches. With rippling muscles and one of the most powerful jaws among the big cats, it is one of the few predators capable of taking down an adult caiman. The jaguar leaps from behind, its teeth piercing through the armored skull, a fatal weak point. The violent struggle sends water splashing into the sunlight. The mother caiman, who had just protected her young from countless dangers, now becomes part of the food chain. In the Amazon, even beneath the bright light of day, the laws of nature remain unchanged. There is no absolute ruler, there is only life, continuing through sacrifice. The jaguar uses its strength to drag the mother caiman onto the bank. With its exceptionally powerful jaws and lean, muscular body, it makes use of the valuable nourishment the forest provides. For the jaguar, each meal is the essential energy needed to survive in this fiercely competitive environment. At the water's edge, the young caimans quietly scatter. Without protection, they begin their own journeys. From that moment on, survival instinct will determine the fate of each individual. The sky above the Amazon gradually darkens. Thick clouds gather from the horizon, carrying moisture rising from the forest itself. Here, the trees do more than absorb water. They release billions of liters of vapor each day, creating rivers in the sky that feed the rains. Then the rain begins. At first, only a few scattered drops fall onto the high canopy, but soon, the entire forest is immersed in the relentless sound of pouring rain. The upper canopy catches most of the rainfall, slowing each drop before it reaches the ground. Water threads through every forest layer, runs along tree trunks, seeps into the soil, flows into small streams, and finally merges with great rivers. Within just a few hours, dry paths turn into temporary currents. Pools form on leaves, inside tree hollows, and among twisting exposed roots. After the rain, the Amazon forest floor becomes damp and full of life. Amid the carpet of decaying leaves, a bright speck moves. It is a poison dart frog, tiny, yet as vivid as a living jewel against the deep green backdrop. Their lemon yellow, cobalt blue, or orange-red colors are not meant for camouflage, but to be seen. This strategy is called aposematic coloration. The message is clear: do not touch. The toxins in their skin originate from a specialized diet of ants, termites, and small alkaloid-containing insects. In the wild, this poison is enough to make predators avoid them after a single attempt. Yet, poison dart frogs are not aggressive. They spend most of their time searching for tiny insects across the damp forest floor. with a sticky tongue and lightning-fast reflexes. Each flick of the tongue happens in a split second. During the breeding season, the male selects a moist spot and emits a high, clear call. The sound carries far through trunks and exposed roots, guiding the female. After the eggs are laid in a safe place, the male often remains behind to keep the clutch moist by carrying water on his body back to it. Along the muddy riverbanks, when the sun has risen high, a group of capybaras appears. This is the largest rodent species in the world. An adult can weigh more than 60 kilograms. A solid, rounded body, short but strong legs, and partially webbed feet allow them to swim with ease. Capybaras are semi-aquatic animals. Their eyes, ears, and nostrils are positioned high on their heads, enabling them to observe while most of their bodies remain submerged. When danger approaches, the entire group simply slips into the river and nearly disappears. Their incisors grow continuously throughout life, perfectly adapted for a diet of tough grasses and aquatic plants. A specialized stomach with a rich community of microorganisms allows them to digest cellulose efficiently. They live in groups ranging from a few individuals to dozens. Vigilance is shared. If one detects an unusual movement, the entire group reacts immediately. During the breeding season, the female gives birth to 2 to 8 young after about 5 months of gestation. Baby capybaras are born with fur, their eyes open, and are able to walk within just a few hours. The entire group takes part in protecting and watching over the new generation. But the riverbank grasslands are also a place watched by many eyes. In the tall grass, a jaguar moves slowly. It uses the terrain and the direction of the wind, drawing closer to the water's edge where the capybara group is resting. A single moment of distraction, the jaguar bursts forward with explosive speed. The capybaras scatter toward the river, but one adult fails to reach the water in time. In a very short time, the chase is over. For the jaguar, this is essential energy. For the capybara, it is part of the natural order. In the Amazon, the life of one species is always bound to the existence of another. And beside the quietly flowing river, that cycle continues, day after day. Evening falls, and the sunlight softens over the dense canopy. High above, where branches weave into a deep green labyrinth, a creature nearly blends into the foliage. It is the sloth. Its movement is so slow it is almost imperceptible. Its coarse fur, slightly greenish from algae growing on its surface, provides perfect camouflage among the leaves. That very slowness is a survival strategy. Move less, attract less attention. The sloth has an extremely slow metabolism. Its diet consists mainly of leaves, a source of low nutritional value. It can take many days to digest a single meal. Therefore, it conserves every movement. Long, curved claws allow it to hang for hours with almost no effort. Even while sleeping, it remains securely attached to the branch. Once a week, the sloth descends from the canopy to the forest floor, a journey filled with risk, simply to defecate, then slowly climbs back up again. A newborn clings tightly to its mother's belly for many months, learning how to choose leaves and recognize the sounds of the forest. Late afternoon gradually settles over the Amazon, yet the forest remains filled with warm golden light filtering through the layers of leaves. Slanting sunbeams slip through gaps in the high canopy, painting slow-moving bands of light in the humid air. High above, the canopy layer, where the most sunlight is received, is busier than ever. Flocks of macaws with brilliant red, blue, and yellow plumage fly in pairs, their sharp calls echoing through the sky. They land on clay banks along the river to eat mineral-rich soil, helping neutralize toxins from forest seeds and fruits. In the evening light, their feathers blaze like living fragments of rainbow against the deep green backdrop. A little farther away, spider monkeys swing swiftly from branch to branch, With long arms and a strong prehensile tail like a fifth limb, they move almost without touching the ground. Late afternoon is the ideal time to search for the last ripe fruits of the day. As they eat, seeds fall or are dispersed through their droppings, helping sow the next generation of trees. These invisible gardeners keep the forest continually renewing itself. Near the winding river bends, the flooded forest begins to reflect the pale orange sky. Seasonal changes in water levels have created two distinctive ecosystems: Varzea forests flooded by nutrient-rich whitewater and Igapo forests submerged in dark, organic-rich black water. During high water season, fish swim deep into the forest, feeding on fruits that fall from branches. When the waters recede, the remaining silt nourishes new vegetation. That rhythm repeats year after year, like the slow breathing of land and water. Beneath the ground, the layer of decaying leaves quietly transforms. Leafcutter ants march in long lines, carrying leaf fragments larger than their bodies back to their nests. But they do not eat the leaves. They cultivate a special fungus with those fragments, and the fungus itself is their food. A miniature agriculture has existed beneath the forest floor for millions of years. At the water's edge, a giant otter surfaces, its dark brown fur gleaming in the sunset. They live in family groups, coordinating their fish hunts with sharp, clear calls. As apex predators in freshwater, their presence shows that the river is still rich with life. A sloth still hangs quietly from a branch, the evening light tinting its moss-green fur into a pale honey shade. Below, capybaras gather in small groups, alert yet peaceful in a rare moment without pursuit. In the distance, a jaguar silently crosses the grass, its body blending into the fading orange hue of the day. The Amazon in the evening is not silent at all. It shifts slowly between light and shadow. The creatures of the day complete their final activities, while those of twilight begin to awaken. In that moment of transition, the forest is not merely an ecosystem. It is a symphony changing tempo, yet it has never ceased to resonate.